Hello, everyone. My name is Gareth O'Brien. I'm the head of film and television at the Irish Film and Television Academy. And it's my distinct pleasure to talk to some of the people behind the wonderful shadows, which you've just seen. I'm delighted to be joined by the director, Carlo Lavagna, and to the incredible cast, Saskia, Reeves, and Mia Threapleton. You're all very welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this. Firstly, congratulations. That's a terrific film, very intense, and I think a wonderful example of what people can do with kind of genre film that's very character driven, I think. Carlo, if I can just start with you, it's very different to your previous film, Ariana. What attracted you to this script? What made you want to make Shadows?
Hi, everyone. I think I wanted to try and make a genre film that I hadn't done before, specifically, and connect that with some of my themes, like some of the things I'm attracted to as a person in terms of like identity or the discovery of of who we are. And so I did that in Ariana, my previous film. In this case, I tried to connect that with a thriller, and I thought it could have been an interesting experiment to do to that extent. I read the script that was written by other people, and then I kind of try to put, give hints to them to give in this direction, and eventually, and also to give a specific note to the whole film in terms of like the look and the way I usually work with actors, the time I love to spend with them preparing the film, some 70s look that I wanted to to the film without being too much or specifically like this is like a 70s look. No, it's a modern look, but with that touch. So there were a few elements that attracted me, both the script and the story.
I think that's wonderfully realized. It does have that 70s feel, if not like a kind of homage look about it. I think it's a terrific film, and I think a lot of it rests on the three actors you have who are absolutely incredible. Their chemistry is brilliant. But given the importance of them kind of holding so much of the film, how did you go about casting them?
Well, the casting was, obviously, there's only three characters, so you really need to pick, someone that can hold the movie, because you don't have many changes. It's not one of these films, there's like a lot of action and you still go from one scene to the other. So it's almost like a camera piece, it's all in one place mostly until they finally go out. And so Saskia, just beginning with her, I'd seen her in like some of the movies I love with Butterfly Keys and Michael Winterbottom. So I really love the way she worked, and so I thought, okay, I'd hope she would work with us, and likely she did. And then for Mia and Lola, we actually went through like a casting. So I went to Dublin a few times, and I would see, and I told this story other times, but just like, for instance, for Mia, it was evident that she had to be the character Alma, because she did an amazing casting. Like when she did the part, there was a scene that nobody could do it the way she did it. And when finally, it's a longer story, but I can tell you briefly. Basically, she was at the beginning casted for the other character, for the sister of Alma, and we did the whole scene. She was amazing. But yet at the end of the day, I still couldn't find the proper actress for the main role. And it was like, I don't know. And something stayed in me about her. So she was on her way to the airport, going back to London in Dublin. And she got a call from us saying, please, can you come back? We wanted to cast you for the other role. And she hadn't tried anything. She didn't know, of course she had read a bit of the script, but and so she comes back. We give her the couple of pages she has to read for that very complicated scene, and she nailed it perfectly. And that's how it went. And Lola was fantastic. I think Lola was there that same day, and she had this, the perfect physicality, and also she's a great actress. She's a very talented actress. I was very happy to work with her.
Oh, fantastic. And Saskia, on that, obviously Carlo really wanted you for the role, but it's you know, you're obviously well known for your film, TV, and theatre work, but this seems like a little bit different for you, like a post-apocalyptic kind of thriller. Like, what was it about the script attracted you to it?
The twist at the end. So, I was reading again the post-apocalyptic things. I don't know if I could pull this off. I don't know if this is. And then I got to the end and went, oh my God, that's brilliant. And obviously I'm reading it for my character primarily. And I loved her journey in it. I loved the way, or rather the audience's journey in it, that they learn about her, that they discover about her, that they have to then work backwards very fast when they realize what has been going on. And I love that. And I had seen Carlo's first film and I adored it, and I thought, well, if he can do that with that script, he can do anything. So I was really happy to get the chance to do this. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I think you're right about the journey, because it'd be very easy to have a kind of cartoon almost villain at the start, but there's such a sense of kind of empathy kind of with her you bring out, that when it comes to that, it's not really jarring or anything. It's always kind of there. Yeah,
she's really, I think the character is very interesting, and the way, you know, you work with a director, you talk about the script, you work on your own character, you work on the backs, and I love doing a lot of exploring and finding things and backstory and all sorts. And Mia, I know as well, we both did archery lessons. I did mine in London, she did hers, I don't know where.
In the hotel.
In the hotel. And you know, I love getting down and dirty with the work that I'm offered. And yeah, it was a real pleasure to be able to do that with this script, and to know that Carlo was with me all the way. And it was very good. Yeah. Do you know what? I've just forgotten what you asked me.
It's okay. So did I. That's no problem.
I apologize. I suddenly became really incoherent then. I started out really well and then it all fell apart. Sorry.
No, that was perfect, Saskia. Mia, as Carlo mentioned, you first auditioned for the role of Alex, but then they called you back for Alma. Before that, when you were auditioning, had you seen the full script at that stage? What was it about the story and the characters that appealed to you in the first place?
Yeah. So I had just finished school 2 weeks before I auditioned. I had just finished school. I was so ready. I was so game. Was talking to my agents. I was like, I don't care what it is. Just send stuff to me. And then suddenly to be presented with a full film script, which I'd never read a full film script before, ever. You know, I've been sent other little bits and bobs for other auditions, but never a full script. So I was ecstatic. I was so excited. And I read the blurb for the description, and the description was initially for Alma, for the role that I ended up doing. And so I read the script, didn't put it down, which is really saying something, because dyslexia, have to read really slowly, and I did not stop reading. I just couldn't. And as I'm reading it, my imagination's going wild. I'm seeing all of these things happening in my head, and reading, okay, and now there's this scene, and now she's doing archery, and I'm a very hands-on, outdoorsy kind of person. So in my head, I'm going, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this character. She's so exciting. I have to do it. I'm doing it. I have to go for it. I'm absolutely just going to give my all and just do it. And I felt like I also could kind of relate on, not quite on the same emotional level as her, in the sense that I haven't gone through what she's been going through, but from having just come out of school, gone through that really difficult, fiddly teenage year of, oh God, where do I stand? Who am I? having just come out of that, I turned 19 on the film, and I felt like I knew the feelings of, okay, is this okay? Am I allowed to do this? How am I supposed to feel about this? I got it. So I did the tape. I did the tape. I did it at home, sent it in, and then a couple of weeks later got a call back saying, please, can you come back in? Can you audition for Alex though? And the fact that I wasn't auditioning for the character that I had first auditioned for, it didn't matter to me. I was still being considered for this incredible project. And then I went in and I left, and I was on the phone to my mum. And I was in Cafe Nero across the street, waiting, killing time before I had to go back to the airport. And I got a call from Jessie, the producer, and I said, Mum, the producer's calling me. I've got to go. She said, okay, just answer it. It's fine. Not knowing what I was about to expect. And then Jessie said, hi, are you around still? I'm like, yeah, just in having a coffee across the street. And she said, okay, great. Can you come back in? And we're going to give you some new pages. And I thought, okay, fantastic. And I walked in, they said, oh, it's for Alma. I'm like, okay, great, let's go. Because I'd obviously done my research on Alma before. I kind of already knew what I needed to do. And then I got handed the pages. I remembered the scene because I had remembered reading it and going, wow, when I first got the script. And then I just went full force and did it, and I just absolutely loved it.
What was the scene, can I ask?
Yeah, so it was the scene where it's just after Alma has decided she's going to go into the river, and there's nothing really left for her, and Alex pulls her out of the water. It's that scene where they're first reunited after everything that has happened.
That's a fantastic scene, quite an intense one and according to Carlo, you nailed it, so that's brilliant. Carlo, like, you've got your two wonderful actors here, and Lola, who we know well here, who's an incredible actor as well, but they have such a great dynamic and chemistry. Can you tell me a little bit, did you do like chemistry reads and tests with them, and did you do much rehearsal getting them together in that kind of dynamic?
I remember we would spend some time at the hotel beforehand, so we would do at the beginning some readings at a house. We had just to get along, just to start knowing each other obviously better, and you need to gain that familiarity, that sort of like and then I think we started reading. We gave I remember working with her and Lola, trying to find the right chemistry, trying to find that, and then we spent I think like a few days. We would go to the hotel, to the abandoned hotel, and then just like do the scenes and just like start to see how the scenes would go and what could work. Also, especially, I wanted to make sure that when we were on set, we kind of already knew what to do. We didn't have so much time to shoot, so I wanted just like to make sure that everything was there. And I think it was very, very helpful. I think they got along very well, and it was it was necessary. That's the thing. I say that for me, it's really important to try and have that time to work, because that doesn't always happen. And then actually spend time with the actors, creating this sort of like family vibe. It's really important to get what you want, to get the right nuances.
It certainly comes across, and that time to do that really has paid off. Those of you at home who've just watched the film, I think, will agree on that. Saskia, you mentioned you really like exploring your character and getting into that, but can you tell me a little bit about your specific process for kind of getting into the role of mother in this?
I came at it from many different angles, actually, and lovely conversations with Carlo. But I remember reading about a woman. I read a book about a woman who grew up in a cult, and her and her brother, and they finally got away. But I felt that mother had such a twisted start in life. For her to to abscond a small child like this and to make believe that she was somehow doing this child good and creating this world for this child to grow up in. That's some twisted psyche. So I was like trying to, without having to bring it, it's just there somewhere deep in the background. And I found that really interesting, the way your relationship, the way this woman was describing that her relationship with the world and other people was forever out of joint because of how she'd started. And that was very interesting for me. And trying with Carlo's help to make sure that I wasn't going to give the game away too soon, or that she didn't seem mad, or that, you know, we did think the world had come to an end. And I think also what is so amazing about this film and the timing of it is that we went into a pandemic just a few months afterwards. So we as a world went down into lockdown. We were stuck indoors. We were stuck with each other. You know, our lives have changed beyond recognition, actually, and how we relate to our inside world and outside world, I think, has changed. And this film somehow talks to that as well. So it's sort of prophetic. But I enjoyed very much to help with Carlo's help to tell the story in the best way possible, so that you believe what's happened. You believe that this child could have been kept away. Wasn't there an article at the time, Carlo, about the German family who were kept underground? Do you remember?
I do. Yeah.
News, like, I think when we were preparing for this film, and it was like, what?
And yet Aina told the daughter the same thing. You know, you remember that the world was ended, like a crazy story, exactly like ours. So it's more believable than we think.
Yeah. So I enjoyed very much the fact that it felt like a fairy tale, this story, but actually we can relate to it on so many real levels, so many genuine experiential levels.
Absolutely, it resonates really with someone trying to protect people now, like their family and stuff, but also I suppose for like me and Lola's characters, this need, like, I just want to get out now. I kind of just need, you know, to be out and have a life. And I think a lot of people can relate to that now. Mia, for you, you mentioned that Alma is someone you could relate to quite a lot. But in terms of like working with Carlo and the other actors, this is like your first lead role, if I'm not incorrect. How was that process for you, like working with the other actors like Saskia and Lola, and how did you kind of collaborate with Carlo on the character?
Yeah, so you're correct. This was my first lead. I still can't believe that I that I did it. But so I felt so genuinely lucky and so fortunate and grateful that we got the time that we got together before we started filming, because I arrived into Howth in Dublin. I think it was about two and a bit weeks before we actually started shooting. I remember I arrived, Carlo texted me and said, "We're going out for dinner, come join us." So I went, and then, you know, we obviously started to get to know each other more. I just, you know, from just a friendly point of view, because I'd only ever met him in the casting room. And then Lola and I started to do rehearsals, and for the first, I think it was just 2 days, really, it was just read-throughs. We just did some read-throughs, and I remember Carlo saying, "Look, this has been directly translated, and if something doesn't land and if something doesn't sound right, please do not be afraid to tell me, actually, that doesn't sound quite natural, that doesn't sound quite right." And I think that immediately, or at least for me, made me feel very kind of open and relaxed, like, okay, I can put my input in, and it's not going to be like, no, that's not going to work. You know, it made me feel really just really relaxed and calm and able to express exactly what I wanted to express without fear of that could be the wrong thing or that could be the right thing. And with regard to creating chemistry, Lola and I, obviously we spent 2 full weeks together before we got started shooting, going through the scenes, getting to know each other, and that was so valuable, because it obviously what you see on screen is very much where, you know, it's very much where we actually were. You know, we were spending so much time together every single day in this crazy, fun, hilarious abandoned hotel bubble, that we really did become so friendly through the work, and we had such a lovely time. And then Saskia arrived, and it was like, oh great, there's a new person to play with, there's a new play friend. And it was so exciting. And then, you know, we started doing the scenes with Saskia on the job, and she arrived kind of midway through the shoot. So it was kind of fun to laugh about, oh hang on, is that, you know, have we done this before, what's happening? But we had such a good time, and I walked away from this job with so many friends. I have everybody's phone number, and I still message everybody still.
That's terrific, Carlo. It sounds like you created a really, really supportive and good environment on the set. I did say earlier there's only 3 characters in the film, but at the risk of being incredibly cliche, the location, the hotel in particular, is very much like a character in its own right. How did you find that place, firstly?
So just to add up a little thing, I think it's interesting that the hotel, it's a place on its own. It's a sort of a setting to like a psychoanalytic, place, because you really like the filmmaking. It's also readable as a sort of like psychodramatic, act, in terms of having Alma trying to become the person she is, having like a figure such as Alex being the id, the S, trying to tell her the subconscious, giving her like hints like you need to do something. There's a super egoic figure that it's the mother. So it's a whole like that. I think it's like, obviously maybe it's a forced reading of the movie, but like that was also like one of the things that kind of like, going back to the first question, to be honest with you, kind of like gave me another level to approach the film, saying, okay, this is also like a metaphor for someone's realization, through like a psychodrama or like a psychoanalytic point of view. Anyway, that's it. So the hotel, it's really important. It's the setting. So it's like, where is that? It's a bit of an uncanny place. It's really, and we needed to find that. And weirdly enough, we were looking around for many different places. At the beginning, we thought like it could have been a house, but then the houses were too small. I wanted a bigger space to play, because obviously it's claustrophobic. We needed a place that was locked and closed, but at the same time that would leave space to the characters to move around and to create their own sub worlds within it, So driving around, finally, I remember, I don't know if it was maybe James Mather that said like, but guys, I know a place up there, like, and then we went, and obviously the hotel itself, it's in a golf court, it's by the sea. It's like we needed to adapt that place for as if it was in the middle of the woods, but I think we managed to give it that impression.
You absolutely did. Guys, I think we're just about out of time there, but I'd just like to wrap up by saying it's been wonderful talking to you and hearing what seems like a wonderful time you had making this wonderful film. So thank you all so much for Shadows and for joining us here today at the Galway Film Fleadh. Just thank you very much, Mia. Thank you, Saskia, and thank you, Carlo, and best of luck with the film going forward and your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you.